So last week, they released a new thing on the Trump Organization. An arrest was made in terms of on Allen Weisselberg. Allen Weisselberg is the chief financial officer of the Trump Organization, the CFO, and they got him on tax fraud. They got him on a couple other things. Now, here's where I think this is bullcrap. And I don't think that this is bullcrap in a sense. I think that in terms of the DA, New York DA, fine, investigate that, go ahead. For the mainstream media, I love how they're not covering cases like Assange, like the economy, like the real economy, not the stock market, but the real economy. Nothing. Or calling out the Joe Biden administration, but they're coming after Trump just because, oh my God, it brings ratings and the anti-Trumpers, and Trump, even though Trump ain't in office, right? Now, here's what they got him on. Basically, he didn't pay taxes on income when it came to rent, when it came to corporate cars, when it came to all kinds of things. Now, Eric Trump, because he's so stupid, he's the executive vice president of the, I think he's the vice president or executive vice president. I don't know how the organization shaped up of the Trump Organization. Right? I don't know how it's shaped up, but he says, well, look, it's corporate cars. They're perks. If you get a corporate car, you get vehicles, you get certain mileage, you get to use it. Yes, sir. But the corporate cars are either going to be used for two reasons, and one of them is going to be taxed in a certain way. It's either gonna be work. Weisselberg or someone else has to travel to pick up foreign ministers that may come to the Trump Organization, different foreign leaders, different foreign business people, different business people here in the United States that work with Trump for some stupid reason because he's going to scam you and make your money go bye-bye. Shitty investment, right? Or it's used for a personal thing. Hey, I know I gotta come in tomorrow, but I'll come in the next day after that on Wednesday. So on Tuesday they might be taking their kids to school, going to the store, doing some groceries, going to the bank, doing whatever they have to, and then going back home. That's considered personal use, right? So they weren't paying taxes on that. Now, I was looking at this going, this is it. That's it. That's all you got them for. That's it. This is bullcrap. You had all this time, 4 or 5 long effing years, and you couldn't get him on anything else. And this is what you got him on. There's so many stones, so many skeletons in his closet. And Michael Cohen released a crap load of things. He's been meeting with the Manhattan DA, the investigators in New York, for over 2 years. And this is what you get. Jesus Christ. So now there's a whole thing where maybe it's that, they are trying to get him, but they need Weisselberg to flip. So what they did was they threatened Allen Weisselberg and said, hey, we got you on this. He came out in handcuffs. So that means he did a whole bunch of things. Right? And so maybe that's exactly what happened, right? Maybe they said, oh my God, right? So maybe what they need is for Weisselberg to flip. If Weisselberg flips, then all the other things like the New York grand larceny and the tax fraud and the whatever else they were going to charge him with, there's like 3 extra things, unfair compensation of employees or whatever it was. They need him to say everything. He knows where all the bodies are buried. He knows everything. And so, maybe they just need him to flip. Now, this is where it gets crazy because if he doesn't flip, then that means it's game, set, match. They feel like, I bet you that they feel like we need this guy to flip, so we're going to get him on this, pin him down, and we'll say, now, we'll either let you go, we'll lighten your sentence, we'll make you do community service, we'll do what Michael Flynn got, or I forget one of the George Papadopoulos, which was like 3 weeks, all of that, and you'll get off nice and purty, but give us every bit of information, give us all the goodies when it comes to Trump. Maybe that's what they're trying, but maybe he doesn't want to say anything because it's going to come back to bite him in the ass because the Trump organization has a lot of shit on him. I don't know. But this, I literally thought that's all you got him for. But maybe they have more and it relates to taxes. Because look, I mean, and they just need him to flip. Here's the thing, right? There's a lot that Trump does. I mean, look at his golf courses. They're pieces of shit. Every year he loses money. And it's fine. Hey, you lose a little money as business. But the ratio from loss to gain is so high that it makes you wonder, how is this a functioning golf course? How is this a functioning business? Right? I would wonder that. I would, right? So, I mean, could there be that there's a money laundering thing? I don't know. But look at he still does it. Trump University, he paid out millions of dollars, $25 million, because he used the name university. You're not legally not allowed to use that unless you are. He still did, and he did what was calling like upselling, I think it is, where you buy one package. Oh, but then you have to buy this. Oh, now you have to buy this, and then up, and then you get a shitty degree, and then your retirement, your savings, your investments, all gone down the drain to Trump. So he paid $25 million or something like that to pay everybody off because he scammed them. Look at, and then he does, in terms of the Trump organization, he does this all the time where he like inflates his values to show people, oh, there's a bunch of money. Oh God, look at all my assets. Properties and hotels and cars and all kinds of things and digital things. And I'm so good. I'm great. And, so he does that. But then when it comes to taxes and he's got to hide from the IRS and they're coming to do an audit, whatever they're doing, an audit, okay? They're doing an audit. He deflates the values. Oh, I'm so poor. And so, or when he tries to sell, he overinflates the values. Now, that's just him scheming. And then you have him with Saudi Arabia. What did they do? So if we're talking about scams, they purchased like, what, $500,000 in rooms in Trump Tower, 50 rooms or something like that. They didn't even use them. But what did he turn around and do when he was in office? He turned around, gave them a multi-billion-dollar weapons deal, stood idly by as they killed Jamal Khashoggi, a U.S. journalist, and then stood idly by and helped them aiding them in the war in Yemen, the genocide in Yemen, and then vetoed us to get out of there. So. And then you have, of course, Trump, Jared Kushner taking money from this Israeli banks doing their bidding, and then you have, but that's on the politics side. But the point is, look, wherever you have evidence, there's a crime, there's something, there's smoke, there's fire, you could freaking do anything with it. But again, I don't think this is massive unless Allen Weisselberg flips. I don't see it. All we know is Trump is a lying, scheming son of a bitch. And you have Trump supporters like mine. Oh, Trump is so great. I mean, look, he even scammed his own supporters. He said, if they sent out emails, if you give money, we're going to fight this and we're going to win and we're going to overturn this election. And what happened? They added a fine print at the bottom that his donor class, or not only his donor class, but his independent, individual middle class, Kansas City or Kansas, Kentucky, Wyoming voter said they're too stupid to look at it. But in the bottom they said your first X number of dollars, so like hundreds of thousands or whatever it was, will go to paying off campaign debt and things like that and other campaign things. Then you have to give over a certain amount for it to actually go towards the case and actually go towards fighting this election fraud, which wasn't fraud, by the way, in any way, right? Even people, Jason, there's fraud in this election. Okay, give me the evidence. I don't know. Okay, then you're speaking out of your ass. Shut the fuck up. I don't like Joe Biden, but I gotta call it like it is, right? But he scammed them there too. So he's just a schemer, but he might skate free because, look, in the 1980s, ain't no way you could have been a real estate agent without having deep connections and ties to the mafia. Roy Cohn, I think it was his lawyer, had deep connections to the mafia. Some of his top clients were the mafia. So the New York Mafia. So you could not be a real estate agent in the 80s and not have connections to the Mafia. At least a big time agent. And even then, you couldn't. Sammy the Bull Gravano went out and said, yeah, we were going to have a fight, a boxing match in the Trump hotel. And the mob was connected to Trump. But he's going to skate by. Allen Weisselberg I don't think he's going to flip. But we're going to see what they have. But I am not convinced that anything's going to happen. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, watch this. Hold on. I really don't think, they're going to do anything to this guy. He's going to get away. They're going to, do what they have to. And, yeah, that's just how it's going to go, And the mainstream media will be on Trump more and more and more for no reason at all other than to not do their jobs.